All right, we are live. Welcome back to the Steelers chat. And believe it or not, I got some stuff I got to get off my chest. Yeah, it's been and it's been paining me. I've been waiting a while. It's been since Thursday. Steeler Nation, we got beef. We got beef again, and I'm tired. I quite frankly am tired, and you know what you did, and how dare you do it? Um, Sitting in that stadium on Thursday, listening to you guys say some of the things that you said and do some of the things that you did. I have to address it. I have to address it. I was in the stadium on Thursday night, and there was an incident where Alex Highsmith got injured, and our crowd proceeded during an injury timeout where we're usually quiet, proceeded to yell for Mason Rudolph. Unacceptable behavior. I don't vouch for it. You may have saw me say something about it's rude because it is. There's a injured player on the field, your player at that, and I really, really, really need you to be respectful. Okay. So with that being said, I don't. Boos are fine. You can boo all you want, but saying someone else's name while a man is trying to get off the field is unacceptable behavior, and I can't take it. Um, I don't even like you calling for someone's job, you calling someone's name in general. I think it's rude. I think it's a distraction. The guys have to end up answering to it after the game and during practices. It's a distraction. So I don't support that. I know you think it's cool, it's funny, it's cute. You feel like you are entitled to have an opinion and a voice. But for me, it is extremely rude, and I'm going to call you out and hold you accountable for it every single time. Okay? Okay, we good there. Just don't be rude, don't be respectful, don't be disrespectful, and pretend that that is your family, your brother, your cousin, someone, a human being out there, and treat them with respect. Being disrespectful doesn't make you the number one fan in the world. I'm like I said, I'm okay with you booing, cheering. I really love it when you do cheer, but calling people out and being disrespectful and thinking it's cute and funny, especially at the wrong time. I just can't condone it, and I won't. Number two. Okay, I'm done there. All right, I think I got that one off my chest. I'm good. Number two, it's Coach Tomlin. Look, I am not saying he is not a part of the mess that is this team. Of course, he's the head coach. You're gonna get all the slack and all the blame for everything that goes wrong. But what I want you to realize, these are the Pittsburgh Steelers. This is the city of Pittsburgh. And if Mike Tomlin walks out the door, you hear people say this all the time. If Mike Tomlin walks out the door, he will have a job before he gets to his car. We know this, right? You know why we know this? Because there are a bunch of guys out there that would love to be coached by Mike Tomlin. Love it. And what that means is when he walks out that door to wherever city he goes to take a job, it's some guys that's gonna go with him. So you may be prepared for him to walk out the door, but he's not walking out the door alone. And let me make something else very clear. This is the city of Pittsburgh. This isn't Atlanta. This isn't Miami. This isn't one of those places where people are flocking to come and raise a family. Let's note that. Okay? Because let me tell you something else that you may have forgotten. The Pittsburgh Steelers still have not met up to the league standard of paying players. Excuse me. So they're still a little short on their guaranteed money. So I need you to understand that if Mike Tomlin goes, it's guys going with him, and recruiting gonna be a little different because there's not guys that are really taking a pay cut to be coached by Mike Tomlin. So I really need you to look at that, really understand what that means for this man leaving the organization, and be careful again what you ask for. Because I mean, you should look at all the dynamics. Stop looking for a quick a solution to a problem, and really look at what you're asking for. But that's it. That's my monologue. I felt like I was doing a little Stephen Colbert here. Let's get everybody on stage here, y'all. What's up? What up? What up? What up? Pitts, you gotta come on camera, man. Sorry, was that a little spicy this evening?
That was nice. That was nice. I liked it. I liked it, especially number two. The second one, I liked it. I was like, yo, we need that. Even the first
Yeah.
one, I was like, we need to hear that. We need to hear
Look,
that, the positivity about, just being positive. Like that message
mhm.
needs to go out there. Like, these players are human. You feel me? So
Yeah,
I
we
like that.
are.
That's dope.
We're human, they're human, and we really need to treat them like that. You know what I'm saying?
Mm, you know,
So how you
because
been, man? We're gonna get into this in a second. I'm actually working on getting things in order on IG, and we should be good to
okay,
go here, man. I'm super excited. Um, if not, then we'll just keep on moving here.
keep on moving, don't
All
stop.
right.
Move.
Who else we got on the line? We got a couple more people in here.
Salute to everybody pulling up.
We
It's
got
gonna
Dane.
be a
Dane's in
good
the
night.
backstage. If you can get on camera, Dane, you can come and join us. We're gonna get started. What's up, Kev? My man Kev, he has a for seven podcast, so make sure you're following him. Um, Again, back to kind of what I said. I don't know if you heard or watched the game at home and heard everybody cheering for Mason Rudolph. Which is like, look, there's nothing against Mason. I don't have anything against Mason. I just have a problem with the timing and it in general. Um, so were you able to hear that at home?
Yeah, and we heard it throughout the whole night. Like that
Yeah, and
didn't stop.
when it started was at that instance.
Yeah.
It did happen multiple times throughout the night, and it's again, like I said,
Mhm.
I don't condone it. But when it initially started, was really for me during that injury timeout when the place was kind of quiet.
Right.
So you guys did hear it at home throughout the game, which is
Yeah,
unfortunate.
yeah, definitely. It's crazy to me, like the Mason chance, because I remember last year we booed Mason. Like Mason was booed in preseason. Like
Hmm.
so, so the
Hmm.
the the Mason chance, it's like the still a nation. They're just angry. They're angry. When you angry, you say some crazy things. You know.
Yeah, they do. It's again extremely unfortunate. I hate that it's happening um, to our guys, and they have to listen to it. And the most important thing for me is they have to answer to it. They don't get to go home and not have to deal with the media asking them questions about it. They have to answer to that, and that to me is what lingers on longer than what you think just happens in that stadium in that moment. It
Mhm.
becomes a thing that becomes divisive because you can't say what you maybe you really want to say, and you gotta kind of mold your words in the way that the organization wants you to mold your words. It becomes a unnecessary stressor. And everyone just, like I said, feels a sense of entitlement because they paid a couple $100s to sit there, or your season ticket holders. Let me tell you something. You may own a season ticket, but you are the best definition of a leaser there is. That is not your seat. Like, I know you say you pay for it, but it's not your seat. We got my man Dane in here. What's up, Dane?
It
Man,
was
that is not your seat. So you lease that seat from the Pittsburgh Steelers, and I know you think you own it, but baby, you don't. What's up, Dane? How are you?
what's going on, D? How you feeling?
I'm feeling good. I had to get a couple things off my chest this evening.
Yeah, I
I
see
know
that.
you.
I see that. There's
Yeah,
nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with that.
yeah.
You
Look.
I heard what you said, and
Mhm,
I am a season ticket holder, and I've been one since
mhm,
1992. So I think the mentality of the fans have changed since then.
mhm.
We've gotten
Absolutely.
younger. We've gotten, I guess you could say spoiled, but we've gotten younger. We've gotten entitled to thinking we're supposed to have this type of team and you're supposed to do this on a daily basis.
Mhm.
The booing, I'm all right with. I'll just
Yes.
straight up, I'll boo if the team
Mhm.
is not playing up to their capabilities. I would do it immediately. But
Yeah.
when you start going into fire this person, get rid of this person, calling names, like you say, you got family members sitting there and got to listen to that. You got
Mhm.
kids that got to sit there and listen to that. Pretty sure they're going to be scarred listening to that from
They're
7 years.
participating. You're teaching your children to act like this. The kids are
And
participating.
it's just unacceptable. It's unacceptable. And it's just annoying at this point. It's annoying at this point. And I get the frustration. I get all of it. But it does nothing. It does nothing. And like you said, it causes fights between fans. It causes negativity. It doesn't help the team at all. It just doesn't. And just imagine how Canada feels listening to that. He's a human being. Yes, people want to fire it. I get it. But to chant that, different countries. I mean, it even got different countries from other countries doing it. Signs up and stuff like that. And he has to see that. Why would you want to even work in this type of environment?
He's probably at home stress-free right now.
He's probably feeling good right now, actually. Feeling better. But I don't know.
You touched on something, and Mason, I wanted to go back to Mason because yes, the cheers were for Mason, but Mason knows very well how quickly this fan base can flip on you. So yeah, they're cheering for him right now, but he knows very well if he got out there and didn't do exactly what they wanted when they wanted, he would be on the opposite side of the booth, so or on the cheer, excuse me. So he's been in that position before in some regards, and I agree with you, Dane. This fan base has changed. I feel like this is rarely a hostile environment for players to play. I mean, fans rarely get up out of their seats. They rarely cheer. You got to get a renegade going in the fourth quarter for people to stand up and wave their towels, or very beginning of the game. It's rare that as a unit, we are a hostile environment.
I said it earlier. Even if twirling the towels don't mean anything anymore to me. To me, it's just a thing to do. I remember back in the 90s, even in the early 2000s, it was a thing. It was for big games. It intimidated some players, intimidated some teams. It was amazing to see. Now, it's more just to hype up the team to show up for the game, as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm speechless. As far as
it's just a new day, man. It's just a new day. The kids is running everything. You got to think about it. They only know Ben Roethlisberger. They only know that. They don't know about before Big Ben. That is like, yo, we're winning, but we losing. Something like I haven't really experienced the 80s. You feel me? I was born 91. So I don't know anything about the 80s, but I always heard about it. And it's not good. It's not good. You feel me? But just think about it. 18 years of Ben, or however long it was, of Ben, you're winning. You think you can win the Super Bowl every year. We had them eras, you think we can win the Super Bowl. Now it's like we're trying to find ourselves, like the Steelers trying to find themselves and whatnot. And the fan base is lost. It's like they don't know what this means.
They don't know what to do.
Not thinking this is Kenny's second year. And people are mad. Like, we can really be in the bottom of the barrel. Like, we can really have probably 2 wins for real. But
look what we did last year. Like, look what happened last year.
So, I was feeling good at the end of last year. And yes, I was one of the ones who got sucked in to the preseason this year. I got sucked in. I actually thought we were going to do something. Just going by last year and the preseason. But
when you say something, you mean from a numbers standpoint, you're thinking we're going to put up 20 plus points a game, right? We're going to be throwing bombs down the field. We're going to be executing in the red zone by something. Don't get me wrong. I think they have won some interesting battles here, given the fact that they struggle to score touchdowns. But again, I thought it was.
But what did we score, like 6 or 7 times in a row, possessions wise?
In preseason.
I know it's preseason. I get it, but I still got sucked in though.
So how y'all doing? I apologize. My computer was going in and out. I came in at the later, so I own Pitts from Pitts and Push Sports Talk Radio. I live in Maryland, but I'm from Pittsburgh. Me and my co-host, we're both from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. And When it comes to the Steelers, I think that me being able to live in that environment and then move away and to be in a transient area where there's so many teams and see an environment from people who root for the team but don't live there, I think the mindset is different because people in Pittsburgh aren't calling for jobs. Like for me, I talk football. I heard when you were saying about Kenny Pickett, I'm gonna be honest. I've never been a Kenny Pickett fan. I wasn't a Kenny Pickett fan because I watched him 5 years at Pitt. So for me,
Watch.
I'm
Move
a
your
guy
mic
with
for a second.
oh,
Move your mic
so
closer. Yeah, there you go. There you go.
so I,
I hear you.
so I watched him 5 years at Pitt, and if you look at his 5 years at Pitt, the 3 years that are consistent are the years where he did not do well. That fifth COVID year, he killed it. 4,200 passing yards, 42 touchdowns, 9 interceptions. But if you go to the 3 years prior to that, it was 1,700 yards, 2,300 yards, 3,200 yards. But touchdowns, interception ratio remained the same, 13-9. So I was never a fan of Kenny. I knew we were going to get Kenny for the same reason why we picked up James Conner. There's continuity. They know him. They're in the locker room. They share the same field, right? And if you remember that draft class, there wasn't that much talent coming out. You're talking about Sam Howell, Desmond Ritter, Malik Willis, and Kenny Pickett. We needed a quarterback. We didn't get one prior to Ben leaving, even though when we got Mason, Ben said, it's not my job to teach him. He got to learn it himself. We never really, we
Are
never
you
really
quoting Ryan
adjusted.
Tannehill? No, I'm
Me?
kidding.
Nah, no,
I'm
no. It's
joking.
just nah, because listen, I've been saying this for a minute, and when I go home, I get criticized when I go home to Pittsburgh. And I don't hate on us. I'm gonna be honest. When it comes to the Steelers, the fans, they're delusional. We are delusional at times because we talk about football and you talk about a man losing his job. Understand that football is about execution. Regardless of what a coach called, players are supposed to execute. But when it comes to our offense, and you talked about preseason, one of the reasons why I didn't get excited about preseason is because I looked at who we were playing against in preseason. A lot of the times, I think till our last preseason game, we played against all backup defenses. We played against some guys who really weren't going to be in the league. So I never measure our season based off what we do in preseason because you're not really getting the full fledged of let me see you a full 60 minutes. But there was some promise in regards to the progression that it appeared that Kenny had taken from last year to this year. That was to be excited for. And I think that when you throw the game speed in there versus preseason game speed, it's a completely different atmosphere.
So for preseason, I know we're on this, we'll stand with it, but I saw an improvement in the offensive line. That was something in preseason, the offensive line that looked horrendous. And it slowly got better, but our preseason line, the year before last, I was like, wait a minute, honey, like we can't go out there with this line. And our line did struggle. So seeing the improvement in the offensive line in preseason was big for me. And I saw in camp Kenny's improvement with his receivers, right? He came in, this is his team. It wasn't his team in the beginning. He had to work his way and kind of get put in there and develop. And in some ways they're still developing. If you take a Matt Canada who in his offense and still trying to find those pieces that work, they were still trying to figure it out. And now you're at a place where there is no Matt Canada, but there is the residual of Matt Canada, and you still have to figure it out. You got the 400 plus yard game, and then you saw in the Patriots game to me, the play calling wasn't the best. There wasn't great play calling in that game, and you got two guys splitting roles here. And as much as it's as easy as it is, and I said this after the game, it is so easy to blame Mitch. I think Mitch had played better in the second half, which you want him to do. Your defense plays better in the second half, giving you a chance to come back and survive this game by not letting them score. But I felt like the play calling needed to be more beneficial to the weapons that they had out there. So I would love to hear Kev, I'll start with you. How you felt about the play calling on last Thursday?
I think I think the play calling was all right, man. The players just didn't execute.
Mhm.
Like we so far into the season, you can't really come at the play calling too crazy. Like when Matt Canada was doing it, you can tell that he wasn't really calling games. Like you heard this often. Like a lot of people said it. He was like calling just plays, just picking plays, right? Since he was going whatever, like they call better plays. I mean, the same playbook, but it's like it's better. Like if the players can execute, they can, we can do things. They can kind of look like the preseason, but the players is not doing. They're not doing it. They're not doing no offense, man. Like they're just not. Like we're too far in the season for guys to look like they just got in the training camp.
And they don't know what
Like
they're doing.
respectfully, this is, Minka said it. This is like you can't just throw on the black and gold and think you're gonna be nice, and that's what it looks like, So I mean, that's
For
my thing
me,
with
it
the
was
play calling. It's
one
more
of the
so the
plays that
players.
stuck out to me was on 2nd and 3, and they decided to throw the ball. And I'm like, why are you on 2nd and 3? Why are we not running the ball? I think there was 4 minutes or 5 minutes left on the clock. This is just one of the instances where I said play calling stuck out to me. Run the ball. You need your guys are averaging a couple of yards. You can get a little closer, and 3rd down, you can figure out what you need to do there. But on a 2nd and 3, run the ball. It was, to me, small play calling things I got bothered by.
The
I
running
think
game is doing well.
yeah.
I mean, the running game has actually picked up, and to go away from that, I don't understand it. I really don't understand. It's like the offensive line is actually blocking better than the run game. It seemed that way to me, and the play calling was doing better. So that should be our strength at this moment. Run with it, and they just totally went against it. They just totally went away from it, and I just don't understand that mentality.
It felt like they were playing hero ball, like trying to make Mitch be the hero. But I'm like, he doesn't have to be. You have the
No,
weapons. You have a Jalen and a Najee. You're going to put 2nd and 3, put a Najee in there to get the 2 to 3 yards. If not, then bring Jalen in on 3rd down like you always do for pass protection or whatever it is, a screen or something. Get the extra yard if he doesn't get the 2. I understand Bill Belichick. I understand that he's going to try to take the run away from you, but I still think you have an advantage with really good backs that still can make something happen, given a good defense on the opposite side. You've seen
let me
it a
ask you
million
this.
times.
Let me
You've
ask you this
seen
real quick.
Najee. You've seen Jalen push through, and we've seen Najee come through a pile of people and get 10 yards. Like
Yeah.
we've seen that. So why are you not putting the ball in these guys' hands?
My question is, can a head coach overrule a play call?
It depends. Like an Andy Reid, yeah,
I
because
mean, he calls
offense
the
is his
plays. He's
thing.
the play caller.
You
So
know,
Andy Reid is the play caller. So that's a little different.
well before, like even when Eric
Yeah.
behind me was there, whatever.
He still called the
He,
plays. So Eric didn't call plays.
but
No,
my
they both did. They
I'll
shared
pick another.
duties.
I'll pick
Okay,
somebody
okay,
else.
okay.
But anyway, like an
All right.
offensive minded coach would do that. Like Mike Tomlin is the defensive guy. He's gonna trust the offensive coaches to do their job. Defense though, he's all over that.
Yeah.
But I think it's just the way the head coach is. If the head coach is offensive minded, they'll overrule it. But Mike Tomlin may, say like the 4th and 2 that he said that he wanted to go deep, like that was his call. I believe him.
Yeah.
I believe him.
I think D, when you
Mike
was
Tomlin's gonna
talking,
say that though, right? Like I
Yeah,
think
he's
that's
gonna
his
gonna do
job,
that.
and he's
yeah,
always gonna do that. He's always gonna take the heat for any and almost
yeah.
everything he possibly can,
Right.
because I'm the head coach. That's what I'm supposed to do. But go ahead, Pitts.
No, so what I was going to say when we were talking about play calling and you called out that 2nd and 3 and we threw it. I think the thing that frustrates me with our play calling, because
Excuse me.
it's like in the top right when you were saying that. I'm sorry, I didn't catch your name, so I didn't want to disrespect. But when you made a good point, you said we're so far in the season, the plays aren't going to change, because that's a lot that you got to throw out to bring in. It's the rhythm of the game. It's understanding the personnel packages that you use. So I started seeing something within our running game. Najee Harris is good for off tackle. He's good for counters. He's good for toss. here and there. Jalen Warren is our 22 gut. He's our pounded. Like he's not going to wait. He hits the hole, he goes. When we're doing reverses and we don't just do one, but we do two, we go from a reverse, then the next time we do it, we're going to say, oh, we got 4 yards on that reverse. We're going to do a double reverse. We're really going to get y'all this time. That's what really had me like, okay, so Matt Canada is still somewhere calling the plays he has to be. Because
his playbook is still here. It didn't leave.
Right. I think the rhythm, it was the rhythm though. You know, like even with them trying to get Washington more involved instead of him just blocking at the tight end position. He's a high catch radius target. Like I would have thought we'd have been using him a lot more, even when Pratt Freiermuth went out. We really didn't even use his ability then. So I think it's just using the personnel that we actually have. And like we said, that 4th and 2, Mike Tomlin is going to say all the time that it was my call. He's not going to delegate it and point the finger like that wasn't me. But I stand by it as a coach. He's going to say, I heard it, I understood it, so I called it. But I think play calling, like when my son is sitting there and we talk, I'm like, run, pass. And it's like we're not it's like Madden.
You know what's coming. You know what's
it's
coming.
like it's like Madden. It's like, and then we run the same formation. We'll run the same play out of different formations and act like we're switching somebody. Oh, we got 12 personnel this time. We're gonna switch it up and go to 11 personnel. Gotcha. No, that's not how that works. And I'm sick of us doing routes where we got 2 receivers, we got 2 tight ends, and we take both our receivers and they do the same route, and we take our tight ends and only one go out for a route and one's blocking. So so we only got 3 options in that one route tree. That's dumb. Like, open that up.
All out of the shotgun.
Sorry if there was an echo. Was there an echo just now?
I didn't hear one.
No.
Okay, great. I'm sorry. Sorry about that.
We'll run it out of shotgun on 3rd and 6.
Can't stand it.
Yeah,
I get a coach a little bit for the benefit of the doubt, just a little bit, right? Because the Patriots is nice when it comes to stopping the run.
Oh,
they only give up about 88.
They were number 6. Yeah, number 6.
So like just thinking like they probably thought they couldn't get it.
Yeah, so we actually matched them in the rushing. Like I think we stopped them rushing, and they kind of held us a little bit rushing. I think we were more concerned about the rushing than anything, because I don't think that they anticipated them to be so sharp with throwing the ball. Bailey's at, and he was. And our secondary, our guys just could not stop them in the first half. It was embarrassing.
Can I ask you a question? Is it just me, or is KZ always out of place? His angles are terrible. Like his angles are terrible. Like the way he breaks on the ball, the way he angles to a runner. His angles are bad.
Yeah, he's
I'll leave that for you guys to comment on.
He noticed it more than I do. I don't understand what you're saying. I've seen it a couple of times as well.
I mean, if you look at those 3 touchdowns, right? The one where the tight end was in the back in the end zone, he was playing chase. If you talk about the other touchdown to the tight end to the left side, my man took a bad angle to try to go after the ball. Like he wasn't even behind the defender at that point from the angle he took. He's in front of the defender at that point. It's just like game in, game out, and he's jumping for air. Like he's just swatting flies that ain't even there.
He's having a hard time right now.
I would play devil's advocate here a little bit. And y'all know how I feel about this particular player.
Uh-oh.
I know. I don't even want to say it, but I do have a question. I just want to get your opinion on it. Do you think, and bro, I love you, like you my dog, Minkah Fitzpatrick is a liability in coverage with one hand? Nah. Look, my man just jumped off the stage. He's like, huh? What?
Nah, I don't think he's a liability in coverage. You want to know why? because the way we utilize Minka in coverage, we're not asking Minka to go out there and be an ad read or somebody like that. We're asking him to be an enforcer, right? So we're talking about over the middle. Minka can play free, but that's not Minka's strong game. His one arm, if you remember to the game against the Patriots, had he had both hands, he had an opportunity for an interception. So I think when it
That's
comes to creating turnovers as far as interceptions, yes, he's a liability because he's only one dimensional. Now, when it comes to the other effects, I think he compensates. The other things that he do for a team kind of compensates for the fact that he's not able to help with the turnover ratio.
so this is why I say liability, but a quarterback is like, oh, Minka's in coverage. Let me throw it that way. At least I know I'm not gonna get picked off. Do you know what I'm saying?
He probably still can. We don't know.
I'm not
Catch it with his
like look.
body.
I'm not saying that Minka cannot make magic happen. I'm also considering the fact that this man's hand is wrapped up the size of his head,
You think they think
and
that deep?
huh?
You
Yeah,
think they think that deep?
yeah.
He can't. He
Oh,
can't catch
oh,
the ball.
oh
Fucking
no.
throw it his way.
Oh yeah, no, I don't
Yeah.
think no. So I don't know if they think it that deep, but from a football perspective, absolutely. If I'm
What
going at
I
somebody that look like that, if I throw it, I got a 60% chance of my guy catching it because he only got one hand. That means I just need to put it in a spot where he can only use
I
one
got
hand
you.
to try and go get it. So
Good
heck
point.
yeah,
Good point,
heck
brother.
yeah.
absolutely
What
like, are you
hook
crazy?
routes?
I'm
Throw
going
it.
at him. You put him in coverage. I'm going at him every time. So
Oh,
you better have
absolutely.
him up here, blitzing or whatever you want him to do because I'm
And
going at him. If
and
But
I'm
he
a
you
was also
QB,
doing
I'm
better
a
at tackling
target.
too,
but
right?
that's what I'm saying. He compensates, right? But if you think
Right,
about it
yes, and
this
I'm
way, right?
saying you better have him out here trying to stop the run,
Yeah.
tackling, blitz, all these different things, and you did see him blitz. But I when when has he been? When has Mika been thrown to the last 2 weeks? I only saw the only one thing I saw was when he potentially had that. I think him and KZ. I don't remember the receiver. That's the only play I remember in my mind at the
I
at
think it
the
was
net.
Juju. It was Juju on the
Yeah, I
sideline.
don't remember. It might have been Juju, but I'm thinking like going forward as the QB. If you see him in coverage, is he the guy that you're going to throw at
I would say so.
You want to test it, right? Because then what happens is either Steelers gotta bring somebody else in, which then means that the offense the opposing team can switch up their personnel, right? Because now they can do different things where Minka was a strong asset to us. So now they
Mhm.
can really attack those areas. So for me, of an offensive coach, yes, I want to see how much he can handle. I want to see what his range looks like. And then once you realize that's not there, okay, we go other places. But if you don't test it, then that's just dumb.
Don't get me wrong. Again, that was me playing devil's advocate. I still think Minka is the best at his position, and I think his presence is still alarming, one-handed or not, to a quarterback because you have him out there coaching guys, telling guys where to go, um, and I think, and I do agree with Alex. It's more the KZ, but then you have Minka out there to kind of help him out on the back end. And we talked briefly about KZ and kind
That
of
boy's a
what
liability.
his strong suit is,
That
or
boy's a
lack thereof, or
liability.
whatever.
Like
But
like have you seen KZ come up and make a strong tackle from the safety position?
Haven't.
Like I really like so
I
I
don't
had
know, man. I don't know. I think
no
I
no
seen one.
no I mean in a point
I
where
can't. You
it's
can't blame like
consistent.
that.
No, consistently, no, like from a consistent standpoint. Have you like so I had my cousin on my show and he played for Pitt and he played 9 years in the NFL and he played, on a team. And I was just, me being me, trying to be smart, like cuz like Casey's whack. Like, what is he doing? And then he kind of, as an NFL player would, come to his defense. Like you don't know what he's seeing out there, and I understand that as I play football, so not understanding what he might have saw or what he thought he saw, but I just think that a lot of times Casey is more reliability in passing downs than anything else. I think that going up top, especially when we're in a two safety high, and you still get beat as a safety, that's just that's That's crazy.
We got some good news. TJ Watt will be playing on Sunday. He came out of concussion protocol. That is a lifesaver because our record without TJ Watt is very, very bad. And we need to win this game. The Colts are obviously a team that is very much able to get in the playoffs if they win games. And this head-to-head matchup helps us in playoff contention. Me personally, I am not even wrapped around the playoffs at all just because this team has failed so many times. And I'm going to go through the list of my notes that I took from the Patriots game because I actually kind of wrote down some things that I wanted to talk to you guys about. But this team is still struggling to get over 21 points a game. We're averaging 16.2. Like, it hasn't changed much. Last week was I think one of the first times where we played a team that was averaging less than us and they beat us because we couldn't score over 21 points because they scored 21, right? And it is absolutely disturbing. It's frustrating, it's disturbing, and I can't see us beating teams in the playoff outside of the AFC North, right? And we play an AFC North team, I feel like we got a better chance of beating them because the scores are low scoring typically. But I see us struggling beating anyone that averages over 21 points in the playoffs. I just do.
Rightfully so.
Y'all think if Kenny played, we would have got 21?
No,
I
I
think
don't.
they would have been in a better first half rhythm. I'll say
Yeah.
that.
I would say that
Maybe
too.
Mitch had some jitters. I don't know. I really don't. I can't explain the first half and why
He
it
was just
looked the
doing
way that it
himself.
looked. But
Yeah,
I
Mitch was
think they
being
may have
Mitch.
had a better rhythm in the first half if Kenny was there.
I think
I don't
Mitch.
see any.
You can.
Yeah, I
What'd you
think
say?
Mitch was being Mitch. Like, Mitch coming into Pittsburgh, he came in and he was expecting himself to, be at least the quarterback for that year. Then we get to the Jets game and he been booed every game since then. And the fans yelling Kenny, Kenny, then they bring in Kenny. I think when it come to Mitch, because some of them throws he threw in that first quarter, I was like, God damn, Mitch, my grandma could have saw that. Like, what are you doing?
But this is going
Like,
back to what D was talking about booing players. So we beat Cincy, right? On the road, first
yeah.
game of the season. I'm looking forward to the game next week against the 49ers, right? They booed him before he even come out the locker room.
Bro, bad.
Because he's already doomed to fail already.
They
He's
didn't want
already
him.
doomed to
They
fail.
wanted
They
Kenny.
booed him before they even got out of the locker room.
He don't even look confident when you see
How are you
his
gonna be confident
eyes.
when your own fans are booing you after you just come off a road win
When you
against the
see
team that
his
was supposed to win the
eyes,
Super Bowl?
Oh, it was
that
what was week? It was a Patriots game, week 2. Yeah, we were playing the Patriots. You
Last
mean
year,
last
was it a
season, right?
Patriots
Yeah,
game or was it a
yeah,
49? It was one of the games. Second game, the first game at home, second game of the season.
yeah, Patriots.
And before they came out of town, they booed him.
I mean, because
How you gonna succeed that way?
but that's what I say about fans in Pittsburgh, man. They wanted Kenny so bad, regardless if Kenny was the guy or not. It's no different with James Conner. Like when we lost Le'Veon Bell, and I heard Steelers fans saying, "Oh, we'll be okay. We got James Conner." And I said to one of my friends at Pitt, out of all of the players we get at Pitt, why do we not? We don't go get an Aaron Donald. We don't go get a Shady McCoy. We don't go get a Ty Law. We go get a James Conner and a Kenny Pickett. And then we say that they're the next successors. When I just think that they mean well,
James
but
Conner
I
tore
don't.
us up when he came to town. Let me tell you something. I think
That
James
was
Conner was
yeah.
good. He just couldn't stay healthy. I think health was a big
Our
factor for
offensive
James.
line wasn't good when James Conner was with us. Like he was in
Yeah,
a
and
bad
his health
position
was
when he was with us.
yeah.
Our offensive
And
line
he
wasn't
look
good.
Yeah.
like he tore us up. Juju came in and tore us up. At home. So
Who don't tear us up?
exactly. So
Look
I
at
do
Mike
want to
Hinton.
throw
I
it.
just don't. I just think any quarterback. Everybody's talking about getting this quarterback. Any quarterback we got coming in here with these coaches, not just Tomlin. I don't know if you talked about Tomlin already, but these
Yeah,
coordinators we have
not as a group.
will never succeed with the coordinators we have right now. Whether it's Mitch, whether it's Mason, whether it's True, it doesn't matter who you bring in. They would not succeed with the coordinators we have right now.
Are you talking about Sullivan, the quarterback's coach?
Whoever is calling the plays, we will
Mike
not
Sullivan's
succeed
on
with
the
what we
plays,
have.
and of course they have Eddie as.
And they're already talking about keeping them for next year already.
Who?
I think Ben mentioned that, but let's not. I don't even want to get on the Ben parade right now. He's like hot and cold with me. I don't know. I don't know what side to be on. I would love to see Ben come in and practice with the team, not necessarily be on the practice squad, but come in for a practice and like work with the guys. I would love to see that. To be honest,
I saw how Ben last year was. He good where he at.
I would love to see him in there, kind of, helping them.
My guy.
He can stay on footballing.
Yeah, I like that podcast.
So Mason Cole, y'all. Mason Cole still has some low snaps in this game. This was one of my concerns in the offseason. Where's our backup center? We need a bona fide, we needed to really pursue the center position. And I thought we did a bad job at it in the offseason. What do y'all think about Mason Cole and his performance? Because he's you can talk about Mitch all day, but like if you're doomed from the snap, what you supposed to do? Like, how do you recover? You got to figure out a way to recover.
Are we the only one see that? Does the head coach see that? I'm gonna keep going back to Tomlin. I know I'm a piece off about that. Does the head coach see that?
Does he see? Yeah, he's.
Well, how does he not see it? He watches it. We all see it.
Can't do nothing about it.
Ain't nothing you can really do. We don't have nobody else to put out there.
You gotta put Herbig in. Put Herbig in. That's your backup center.
They might as well.
Yeah. But just think, if they don't have faith in him, and Cole looked the way he looked, then I don't know. It's just bad. And I heard the center's responses to his low snaps, and it's just I think that now in football, there's no accountability. Like everybody's okay with just being like, "Oh, it was a bad game." Okay, one bad game, but you've got consistent bad games with low snaps.
And the other consistency, Alex talked about it last week on the show. It's like guys are still lining up wrong. What is that? I know what you want to say, it's coaching, but these guys are professional athletes, and you need to know where you're supposed to and not supposed to be lined up when that ball is getting ready to be snapped.
At some point,
yes, this is still at an executionary point. These guys are they know this.
I
They're shooting themselves in the foot. I love y'all.
At some point, who's in charge of all of that?
That's true, but you still got the player.
These are not.
That's on the player.
You just gotta get.
That's on the player. That's on the players.
That's on the players.
You just need a new playbook so these guys can buy into something. So they didn't buy into this.
How to eat with the night report.
They ain't buying in at all.
All right, so if you're a coach,
you see it.
What do you say? What do you say to a player who keeps doing that?
So my coach, I remember I did it against when I was my coach against Suitland Rounds. My coach, I lined up offsides. He took me out the field. I ain't go back in the rest of the game just because I was offside. So at some point, they gotta yank them. Don't matter who it is, yank them off the field. Okay, then give them a chance to reprieve. But I think that the low accountability charge in the NFL is just crazy. It's just like I already arrived. I'm here. Like they ain't gonna take me out.
Taking plays.
Well, we saw what happened to Chooks, right? So we know that it's possible in some capacity.
He spoke out and got benched.
I don't want people to kind of lean on the fact that he ain't gonna take nobody out and they ain't gonna bench nobody. It happened.
But I think that was off field though. He spoke out. He spoke bad about Mitch in a capacity that Tomlin felt like it went against the locker room creed, and it was it just didn't help the team out. So he benched him. But I think they've been wanting Roderick Jones to play anyways. They really wanted to get that rookie a chance to play anyways. And I think that was just the reason that they gave for that, because there's a lot of players that called out the offensive coordinator. They ain't get benched. Why you don't like Tomlin? You one of the fans that want Tomlin to go.
It comes to time.
He very much is.
He's one of the fans that want Tomlin to go.
I'm just telling you, it comes a time when he has to be called out.
And that's okay.
I don't think there's never a time where he's not being called out.
I'm not talking about calling out, you had a bad game, you didn't call, bad, you threw the red flag, that didn't work, or clock management. I'm talking about more than that. Okay.
Who do you think we can get? If just say, for instance, you and a lot of other Steelers fans who
Take your
are
beat out of
tired
the
of
I mean,
booth.
Tomlin.
we thought that before we got Coward. We thought that before we got Tomlin. We can't go get another one.
So okay,
All of
but
a sudden, we don't
who
know
do
how
you
to
have in
hire
mind?
coaches.
Dane, you missed my opening
I
monologue.
missed
So
it.
let me
I
just
missed it.
let me just
He
remind
missed it.
Run that back, Dave. Run that
I
back.
missed it. You know what? Let
Let
me
me
guess.
give you
Let me
my
guess.
opening monologue here,
Let me
Dane.
guess. Is it be careful what you ask for? You never know when it's gone. That type of thing.
It's a
No,
little bit of that
Mike
with a
Tomlin will
lot
get
of
snatched up
it's a
as soon
lot
as he
He's a
of
leaves.
nice guy.
this is Pittsburgh. You
Mm-mm.
understand the city and the management that you're dealing with. This
Uh-huh.
is a team that doesn't play people guaranteed money like they should.
Uh-huh.
This is a team that recruits based off of that man who was Mike Tomlin. This
Mm-hmm.
is a man that got people to stay here and
Mm-hmm.
take less money because they enjoy being in the locker room with this man.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
So you take that man out that locker room, and guess what? It's gonna be some guys that go with him and probably can make more money elsewhere. It's gonna
If you
be
think,
people requesting a trade. You're gonna lose what you think you have if you lose him. And
So
guess
how
what?
long? What's it
You
going to
are
take?
gonna be able to get guys in free agency to come here for no guaranteed money. It's
What's
not
it
gonna
going to
happen.
take?
So guess
What's it going
what?
to take for y'all to say, you know what, enough is enough? What's it going to take?
what's it
We
going to
For,
take
still
for
from
won
Mike
us, I'm,
7
Tomlin?
I'm not
games.
Yes.
saying. Look,
What's going to make
I
you say, you know what,
honestly,
I've had
Dane,
it?
to
Our
be
offense
real
is
with you,
horrible.
I feel like I want him to go because I want him to go because I want it to prove the point that he wasn't appreciated, and two,
Yeah.
they're gonna have to start over in a way that y'all are going to hate so much more
Been
than
there,
a
done it.
9-8 season.
Been there, done it.
No, we didn't. No, we didn't really struggle when the transition happened between him and Coward. We didn't struggle, but
No,
It
I'm
was
not.
8-8.
No,
no, not
no,
you, D,
not.
not you, D, not
Yeah,
you,
yeah.
D.
Oh, he's talking about
Not
that.
that
He's
was
like,
yeah.
okay.
I'm responding to under arrest.
Hell yeah. Hey,
Nah, like, but listen, do you understand if we let Tomlin go that there are 30 other teams who as well like go ahead,
I
give
hear
them
that
up,
all the time. I hear
give
that
them
all the time.
up because he brings something to your locker room that a lot of players don't. Just think, you think George Pickens was frustrated in the Patriots game? You give up Tomlin, and you think we're gonna re-sign George Pickens for some low money?
for
We
no
don't
money.
like she
What?
said, we do not pay nobody market value.
Okay.
Alex
Nobody.
Highsmith got cheated on whatever deal he got.
He got
Still not
so
enough.
cheated
He
because
could
he
have
would have
gone
left and got
somewhere
mad
and got
money.
way more guaranteed money.
Yeah.
Do you find yourself looking at the team struggle every time they start a game?
Do I find myself looking at the
The
team
team struggle.
struggle?
Do you recognize that they struggle every time they come
Oh,
out of that locker room?
absolutely. I
How long has that
recognize.
been happening?
I realize that our defense have always, and it's not the same still as defense, but our defense have always been that pick me uppy, right? So if our offense was better than what they look like now, our defense is top 10 hands down. Our defense is top 5 hands down, right? But because we're on the field so much and they're playing catch up and teams can just throw, stats look bad against us. But when you talk about a pick me uppy, our defense don't need a pick me uppy. Our offense just needs to execute and start faster.
Look,
So I guess
look,
the question
there
is
are
who's
times where
improving.
our defense comes out fast, and comes out strong and can get you a 3 and out or so. There are moments like that, but that second half Steelers defense to me can be extremely special. The adjustments they make, you saw it last week. They help. And even I'll go back to that game last year against Miami, and this is where I was like, this is where Kenny's going to tell me he's the guy. If they can keep giving him the ball, he can make something happen. And unfortunately, he couldn't get it done. If you could show me a good 2-minute drill, you might be our guy. He couldn't show me then he did later on in the season. But when the defense can continue to put the ball back in the offensive hand, they are not the problem.
Mm-mm.
Y'all still didn't
I'm
answer my
just
question.
sorry. They're not the problem if they can continually get you the ball, whether it's a turnover, whether it's a 3-and-out. They're not the problem.
You still didn't answer my
Situation.
question. What's it going to take for y'all to say, you know what, I've had it?
With Tomlin,
Yes.
Top 5
like,
pick.
Huh?
yeah,
Top 5 pick in the
yeah,
draft.
yeah. That means we went 4-14 or 4-13. Like, but I just don't see getting rid of Tomlin. I'm not going to say that his record because he hasn't had a losing record. I'm not going to throw that out there. But what I'm going to say, there's a lot of teams that we can look at right now, probably that's had more coaches come through their carousel door than the
So
longevity that we've had.
You willing to wait till we get a top 5 draft pick before you say, you know what, I had enough?
Hey, listen, if we keep winning with the pick me ups we got, why not?
We're
We
not
ain't
really
got
supposed to be
studs.
winning with
What are
what
we
we
winning,
have right now.
And that's
Like the
leadership,
way
and
it's
that's
constructed,
coaching.
we're not. It's not
We're
really
not
built to
supposed to
win
be
right now.
winning. Nah, and that's coaching. That's
I
a
like
part of
what Ken
coaching.
said though. I like what Ken said because think
Mhm.
when we had a big name, Mike Munchak, our offensive line was flawless. Le'Veon Bell looked like he couldn't be touched until he got like 5 yards down the field.
Exactly.
Mhm.
You feel me? And he was patient. So just imagine how long that was.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like and even we wanted him out of town. But what's my man name? Ty Haley. He was averaging 30 points a game.
Ran him
Love
out
it.
of town.
Love
Ben
it.
Ran
hated
him out
him.
of town.
Ben
You're always
hated
going to
him.
somebody out of town.
And
That's
Dick
all.
And
LeBeau
now,
is Dick
and now
LeBeau.
they
You
even
feel me?
open
So it's
their
like,
mouths slightly to ask for him to come back. I'm like, how do you even perch your lips? They're doing the same thing with Mason. But how do you even do that?
It's funny. I interviewed Coach Hugh Jackson because I was talking to him about being fired from Grambling and asking him those
Mhm.
questions. And I was like, "Yo, would you come back to the NFL? Or do you want to stay in college? Because I could think of some NFL teams that need an offensive coordinator, like Pittsburgh. Like we ain't gonna throw no names around. But God, please come on out.
What
You
did he
come back to the
say?
FC. Nah, he said he's willing. He said whichever, whether it be the NFL or college. He said he just want to coach.
Yeah.
but we definitely need some
Man.
real established coordinators though,
Pretty
because
soon,
then
Watson
that'll
is
put us to the
going.
next
I'm just
level.
saying, why they gonna be
I
here
mean, the guys
forever?
aren't getting younger. Benton's
Oh,
playing great, but
I'm
Cam's not
just
going to be
saying.
here forever. TJ Watt's not going to be here forever. I can't see a Minka Fitzpatrick want to stay here and just be stinking it up. But again, he's another one of those guys. Why is he here? Why is he here?
right. I do think we're wasting some of the prime of our defense though with the
Oh my
offensive
God.
Absolutely.
output. We are
Absolutely.
wasting prime, and I understand George Pickens' frustration, because it's just like when we had Antonio Brown, Le'Veon Bell, and Ben, right? We were expected to kill the league. It just didn't quite work out the way we really wanted it to work out, but
Mhm.
Cam Hayward has been playing like he's getting younger. Like he still has that motor. And,
But I
Ogunjobi,
mean, that's what it looks like on the field. At home at night, you don't know what he's feeling like. When he get out of bed in the
he
morning, you know
hurt.
what he's feeling like, right?
Uh,
I bet she's thinking about retirement a little bit.
he
I'm pretty
hurt.
sure retirement is on his mind a little bit.
This
Absolutely. He's
podcast
getting
hard
things
too.
in motion. You see him on television more. Of course, he has his own show. So like players are getting things in motion for a life after football. And I think when you're doing that and you're playing and you're not playing well, that probably takes a toll on you too. Patrick Peterson, definitely an older guy on the field here. I do like how they've been moving him around though. I mean, I feel like I don't know. I feel like he's like slowly got into his groove. Probably not as fast as we would like it, but I think he's playing some decent ball.
He's playing
Yeah,
better.
But you said what? He's getting better,
using the right.
and
I
I
said he's
agree with you.
playing
Like,
It seems
better.
like it's getting better.
He's
It seems like
playing better.
yeah, moving
Yeah.
around, like just moving around and kind of just I don't say be in the spot. It's not really
Right
the
now,
word.
because in the past, it seemed like the earlier games, he seemed like he was always 2 steps behind.
Yeah,
Right.
it's just stuck,
Right. But now
stuck
he's
in the
more
mud.
so, yeah. Now, when you put him in a slot, he's playing a heck of a lot better.
I'll tell you one thing I like seeing. Corey Trice is on the sideline. Just with the defense is just kind of listening. And I can't wait to see him out there with the guys and getting coached up actually in uniform. Because they do talk to him. They do try to talk to him on the sideline. He's there, but just not a part of the unit as we anticipated him to be. I think Joey Porter Jr. is playing good, even though he's gonna give us a flag. He gonna get us a flag once a game. But I
Oh, I
think
love it. I'll take it.
everybody's kind of
The
living
college
with
tape
that.
told you that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think,
It's a
and
good.
if you went to camp and you heard Deontay, like, you ain't in college no more. You can't, like, wash some hands, stop being so handsy. Like, they were really barking at him to work on that, and it's kind of like you're gonna live and die with it.
Right.
Hopefully he can get better with that. because you don't want to constantly put your team in this costly 15 yards. Is a lot of yards to be given up when your offense cannot score in the red zone.
He'll learn better ways to hide what he's doing
No doubt.
as he get older. So
No
I'm
doubt.
not tripping about what he's doing right now.
I like his aggression.
I do love his game though. Like, don't get me wrong, I love his game. Shout out to Joy Porter Jr. I love your game. You know, I think we all can improve in everything we do. So that's nothing there. I think he'll get better. There was another
How do you like
thing.
the other quarterback that we have, number 17? I forgot his name.
Thompson.
Yeah.
Thompson, yeah, he's cool.
Yeah.
He's been doing his thing.
I was like, I don't know. Walker. Everyone was complaining about
boy slow.
him, the linebacker, right?
That boy slow.
Yeah.
Damn.
Yeah. So they were saying he was
boy
getting
slow.
burned a lot, in the game. And like I said, I didn't go back and watch the game again, but he was the one that came up with the interception, correct?
Yeah, he's the one that got caught.
Yeah, he got a little bit of redemption for himself. But I thought that was interesting. Marcus Golden didn't dress. I don't know. Is he injured?
Nah,
Marcus
he came out that he wasn't.
Okay.
He just a healthy scratch.
Somebody said a true walker, not a runner. I'm done. Like, yeah, Steelers freak out.
Literally. Have you noticed?
Crazy.
Have you noticed in our defense,
Mm-hmm.
we open up the middle so easily? Like I was watching the Patriots game, and even when if we show a cover 0, right? We look like we're gonna do it all out, but then we branch off. Like our linebackers, when they turn and run to their spot, you know, to get to their depth or whatnot, like the middle of the field be like this all the time.
Mm-hmm.
It's like teams be feasting on us in the middle of the field, especially, you know, with the tight ends and the running backs. It's like they kill us with that middle, and I see why, because defensive backs, when we show it all out and we running out, our back is to the quarterback, so they can't even see where what play is happening. They eat us up in the middle all the time.
And it's because I think we rely on the pass rush so much to be so impactful. But we see these guys getting held and choked and all these types of things, and they're not able to make the plays that we think, but that we know that they're capable of making. And I'm not making excuses.
Right?
In the Patriots game, we was hurt. Yeah. Right. Patriots game, we were hurt. Remember, TJ, when our biggest fear in that game with the Patriots
went out in the beginning of the game. He got hurt in the very beginning of the game.
So remember, we only had 3. We had Herring, we had TJ, and we had Highsmith. That was
Herbert,
it.
Yeah, because Marcus
Herbert, you're right. Right. Mm-hmm. So if TJ would have went out, then we really was playing some patchwork football.
And I think something happened. Did something happen with Roberts at one point too? I can't.
Roberts was out.
Yeah, Roberts got hurt.
Roberts went out too.
When I tell you that game feels like it was 2 weeks ago, even though it was just last week. It just feels like it was forever ago. And we are coming up. We can get to talk about the Colts and the matchup here. We don't know if we'll have Alex Highsmith, but we do know TJ Watt's going to be there. So do we know if Jonathan Taylor's playing? I know he's been hurt.
He is.
No,
I haven't seen him.
Yeah, he's suiting up. He's just going to be limited.
Okay. Pittman has been a good threat for Minshew. And I just want to think, like, what do you guys think the Steelers' approach defensively and offensively needs to be to win this game? On Saturday, we have a Saturday game.
Got to run the ball.
Mm-hmm.
We got to run the ball.
We
got to take control in the trenches early.
I think it starts with our defense. Our defense sets the tone every game. I think if we win the coin toss, we immediately give the ball to their offense. I think we allow our defense to set the tone because, if we can get pressure, hopefully, Herbert can give some pressure to help TJ out so teams can't triple and double team like they was doing last week. Then I think we'll see a different Gardner Minshew. Gardner Minshew is best when he's able to sit in the pocket. When he's moving around, he's mobile enough, but he's not accurate in his mobility. So if we can flush that pocket a little bit, then I think we have a better chance than just having no rush and him just sitting back and, tearing us to pieces.
Yeah.
see what
So
I'm
Alexander did follow up. He still hasn't practiced. I knew he was hurt. He's kind of like week to week or whatever. But
I
so
say, yeah.
Jonathan Taylor has still not practiced yet. So that's good. Although we've been doing really, really good with stopping the run on defense. Shout out to Landon Roberts. I mean, and he's been critical with that. And then you have Minka coming Minka back, who's also a guy that helps us stopping the run because his tackling is so efficient. But go ahead, Kev, if you have any keys for, I hate saying keys because people use that term all the time. If you, what do you think the Steelers need to do to win this game?
Just come out aggressive, ready to play football.
Mm-hmm.
Just know what team you're playing for. You're playing for the Pittsburgh Steelers. You're not, playing for the cameras. Like you're playing for the Pittsburgh Steelers. Like love what you do. Like let us see you love what you do. Because when you're out there not giving 100% effort, come on, like a lot of people is not going to accept that. You're not going to accept that. It's not going to accept that. So if these guys come out aggressive on offense, find some type of rhythm,
Mm-hmm.
defense going to do what it's going to do. But if the offense is not aggressive, 3 and outs, the defense is only so long that the defense can be good, and they just like, yo, man, it's whatever. And
If
that's
you're gonna
where
find
it's
yourself, oh, sorry, go ahead, Kev.
no, that's it.
If you're gonna find yourself passing, I would like to see Mitch have a relationship with these tight ends when he's throwing the ball. I know we like to use our running backs. I don't know. I feel like again, if you're gonna utilize the middle of the field, try to get those big bodies in there. There was a pass to Darnell Washington. Um, try to try to get somebody in there bigger than the guys covering them. I want to see some of that. Let's get spicy. I felt like they were trying to get exotic in a way at the end of the game and just launching the ball down the field and stuff like that. But get a little spicy, get in your
Get
bag,
nasty,
but not,
man.
huh?
Just get
Did you
nasty.
say
Let's
that?
show some like I'll take a penalty. I just want to show some nastiness, man.
Get up, kick them, look at them, walk back to the huddle.
Something.
Like
You gotta
finishing
catch
your
the
block.
ball. You gotta make a
Nah,
completion.
I'm
And
gonna
there
be
was a
real.
play where I felt that
Let-
Pat Frymuth could have came back to the ball, and I was
Oh
like,
yeah,
he
he
just
could
kind of
have.
just
He
watched
looked in
the
the. He
ball.
didn't even.
It was
Yeah,
a few of
Like
them.
I'm like,
A
bro,
few
you
of them.
could have came back and
yeah.
got that. Like you just fell out on that play, and there's a lot of complaining about guys giving up on plays where it's running routes and stuff like that.
You know what you know what made me realize these aren't the Steelers that we're used to is when we nailed on when we did the nail down at halftime, and you see the New England Patriots D line rushing through like hard, like aggressive, like they would call it an over aggressive play, and they like they talking trash. Like I've never seen the Steelers team just look so like they don't even say anything, like they just looking and they just turn their back and walk away. Like, can you imagine somebody doing that to Marquise Pouncey, regardless of what the score is, and you walk away? It's like there's no confidence. Sometimes the offense don't even show heart. Like they don't show that they'll fight for each other. It's like they don't even like each other. The way they
That's
body
how they
language
are
speak on
playing
the
like
field,
that, though.
the way they body language look on the field, they look like they don't even like each other.
So
I know
what
that.
do you do that to?
Huh?
I know they like each other.
Oh, here
I mean,
you
I keep going back to this.
Who we
Why
talking
is
to
that
him?
happening?
We talking about
Here
Tomlin.
he
Why is that
go
happening?
again. Yes.
Why is that happening?
Gollies, boy, I swear for low.
They're young. They're young. They're young. They're young.
Gosh.
There's
Got
no real
players
vets
taking
over
plays
there.
off. You know,
There's no real vets on offense, man.
Gollies, you don't
Your
like.
vet is Robinson, Allen Robinson, who's not a Steeler, right? He's a vet in the league, not a Steeler. Boykins is technically a vet, not a Steeler, came from the Ravens, but like these are your vets on offense,
So-
you know?
there's nobody on
D,
offense.
a vet that's contributing, like
Right.
Yeah.
at their
I get
position, you know,
I mean,
like
and
a veteran lineman, you know, like.
And
You
you
don't have
see,
nobody-
you guys probably don't see it, but I've seen on several occasions Minka talking to the offense. I don't know
good.
if I spoke on it. Minka
Yeah.
when where were we in LA when I think George got a penalty for a block or something like that. He went over to George and he talked to him about, how he could do that, what he can't, how he should move his body and stuff like that. So mentorship is coming from different areas, and it may not necessarily be on the offense, but these guys are trying to help each other out. So
So
I don't
that's
want
where
it
it's
to be,
needed. That's where it's
yeah,
needed
and
though.
I
Like
don't
you
want
want
the image out there that these guys aren't communicating. I think our offense communication can be better. I said that from the beginning, and I thought it was going in that direction. But of course, losing Kenny and losing that game that you lost him in, you kind of went backwards. So I think I thought they had a moment where they were getting their mojo and kind of lost their footing. So I'm just hoping
I
they can revive, because it's do or die. Like they can technically control their own destiny, but I've been saying that for a couple weeks now, and they're running out of opportunities to control it.
I think the offensive identity is when you talk about leadership. Yeah, it's good to have leadership coming from all sorts of positions on the field. But when you're talking offensively and you're talking Steelers offensive football, just think. Remember when Plexico came in? He had a Hines, right?
Mhm,
You had a Jerome Bennett. You had a Alan Faneca. Like you had those
mhm,
players that were taught the Steeler way from other Steelers to make sure that tradition went on when
mhm.
like this is our second whole new offensive line from last year. None of these guys are that we got on the offensive line played with us last year. And when you talk about the Stiller way, the last person to even try to pass that down was what, Ben? To teach them what the Stiller way was like, because everybody else was gone by that time. Like they
Yeah,
don't even know what that identity looks like because they don't even have the people in house to teach them. Now Cam can teach them what the Stiller way look like, but he can't teach them that from an offensive perspective.
yeah.
Hines Ward was the last true guy to me that could teach the
On
Steelers.
offense, you think so? Heath
Yeah,
Miller? Like, what you mean?
Nah,
yeah. I
man.
mean, he is
Yeah,
well.
guys like Dave DeCastro.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's true.
Now,
That's true. I'm talking
like
about as far as
Remember when
Wano
our
Ramon
offensive line, those
Foster.
guys were just so young and just big. Like I feel like our offense, their guys are big, but I feel like they ain't as big as those guys were. Even Villanueva
Let me
did
Hines
the
Ward
first
let
didn't
me
go
album.
to
guess.
the
He
Pro
Let
was
me
a
guess.
big
That's
dude.
Tomlin's fault too. Let me guess. That's
Bowl.
Yeah,
Tomlin's fault too. Is that
absolutely.
Tomlin's fault
Go ahead,
I
too?
mean,
Shane. Go
is,
ahead.
is he doing a drafting too? I don't know. Does he draft as
uh,
well? I don't know.
Omar Khan.
Kevin,
Omar
Kevin,
Khan.
Kevin is still very much in the building. He's there every game. I see Kevin there all the time.
Who,
Is any
Colbert?
of this lie on the shoulders of Kevin? I know
Oh
Omar
I
is
yes.
got
there now.
y'all
Yes.
got me all wrong. Okay, it's not all
Yes.
about Thomas. All I'm
We
saying
can't
is,
tell.
at some point, I always say we got to start stacking some playoff wins, right? At some point, we got to start doing that. But
You know what's crazy?
we don't
I
have any
feel like
votes
we're
yet.
the only fan base that thinks like this. This is year 2 post Ben. And
I
we
told
talk
you it
about
was
we
going to
need
be
to win
rough.
Spoiled.
playoff games.
They're spoiled.
It's a lot of teams that don't see like 5 wins when a franchise quarterback is gone. We
Look at the
in a playoff
Patriots.
hunt 2 years in a row after Ben. We're the only fan base that do this, and that's what make me laugh.
What
I
about
laugh
before Ben?
at that.
What about before Ben?
Before
What
Ben,
about it?
not my problem.
Would it be 3-7 the last 17
Not
games?
my problem.
I,
We talking about the last 20 years.
Yeah,
Say,
I agree with Alex here on this. I think
uh-huh.
Colbert wanted to leave the next guy with the QB, and that's why he stayed. Yeah, Mason didn't work out probably how they want, and I brought this up over the weekend again, and I've said it before, but and there are some words that Tomlin spoke highly of Dwayne Haskins that you probably aren't privy to, but because Tomlin knew, like, I could never draft. I was never going to be in a position to draft a Dwayne Haskins. So when he became available, Mike Tomlin was like, bring it in, right? Like, come on. Come on home. Because he said, I think one of the things he said when Dwayne came, he was just like, you got to pick another number. 7 is taken. Like, you ain't gonna be able to wear 7, but pick another number. But just thinking about how he got someone who was so talented in college at Ohio State, And the arm talent that Dwayne had, I think Ben at one point was even impressed with it in camp. Watching him in camp, I was impressed with the ball strength. And seeing a piece of that crumble and maybe their plans for that season kind of fall out of place a little bit. You brought in Mitch, right? You drafted Kenny, you had a Dwayne, and then you end up bringing back a Mason because you lose Dwayne. And I think some of their security and what they had in that QB room left when Dwayne left us. So
if you want to be honest, I think if that tragedy never happened to Dwayne Haskins, I don't think we get Kenny Pickett. I think we would have went O-line.
But Kenny wasn't here. When did we draft Kenny?
He died before
in the
draft.
beginning of April. In the beginning of
April.
He
died before the draft.
He
died before the draft. I think if that tragedy don't happen, I'm not even sure we would even have Kenny Pickett, because at that point you had Dwayne Haskins, you had Mitch, who they sent, and then you still had Mason Rudolph, which he's still in the building.
It may not have been Kenny, but I think it may have been a quarterback.
I just think that we would have went O-line earlier. You had,
Yeah, I'm saying I think they would have gotten a quarterback. It may not have been Kenny Pickett.
And
because I mean, things may have shaken out a little differently. I'm not sure, but I still think they probably would have picked the quarterback, because again, I think what Alex said was, I think Colbert wanted to leave the organization with something precious, even with the unfortunate, departure of Dwayne. I think they still wanted to get
Colbert was cool with Kenny Pickett's family. Like they were all friends.
Yeah. So I mean, he might have still been the guy. I don't know. I really don't know. Yeah. So, but yeah, any score predictions for Saturday?
24-21.
Oof, 21.
I think we get over that 21.
Bit much. I think we get over.
Listen, I woke up. I don't bet. I woke up. My brother called me from Pittsburgh. He's like, bro, I need to open your fan door. I'm not doing that. So I don't bet. I open it up, and I don't know why I woke up like Mitch about to have a good game. When I tell you, I did the whole parlay. I almost threw my phone at my dad's TV. No lie. I was so hot. Like, I didn't even care about the parlay. Like, yo, we look trash. I've seen Pee Wee football teams look better than this offensively.
Anybody else score? I do have a confession.
21.
I'm gonna say 24-13.
God damn. I guess we got 13.
Colts or Steelers?
Yeah.
Colts or Steelers?
Colts.
Who's winning?
Colts.
He has the Colts.
I do.
I'm gonna just say this because I'm hoping. I'm hoping.
Keep it hope alive.
30-24. Pittsburgh Steelers. Defense scores.
Mic drop.
I'm hoping.
I will say, I just want to be honest. And I am sorry.
Ain't nothing wrong with that, man. Ain't nothing wrong with that.
I lost my Matt Canada cape.
Yeah, you screwed that up.
I don't know. And I apologize. And I had it. I had it with me. I took it with me to the tailgate. I had it on and I took it off to use it to hold my drink because my drink was cold. It was cold outside. So I was using it to hold my drink. And that's the last I saw of it. I was told Lenny has it. Because I didn't have my coat on at one point. I put my coat in the van, and I think Lenny may still have it. However, I don't have it. I didn't have it at the game. You know, my cape is undefeated. Whenever I have it on, we win. And I did not have it at the game on Thursday. I will not have it on Saturday. And I'm nervous. So hopefully Lenny has it. And when I go back to Pittsburgh, I will have it for the last home game. So we'll see. But I don't have a prediction yet. I will post it on Saturday morning and we'll go from there. But I do want to thank you guys, Kev and Pitts and Dane. Please let everybody know where they can follow you for your unsolicited Steeler takes. Go ahead, Kev. I'll start with you.
Appreciate you guys.
All right, man. Make sure you follow me everywhere, man. Steelers for 7 podcast. I'm here. I'm still here. I'm still right here.
Okay, you got frozen for a second. Go ahead.
Oh, my fault. Steelers for 7 podcast, YouTube, Twitter Stills for 7 Pod, IG Stills for 7 Podcast. If you like me, you feel me? Keveze, Keveze, for those who don't spell well. I don't really judge like that, but yeah, you follow me on all that. Salute to you,
Okay.
Dave.
Hey, thank you for coming on, man. I appreciate you.
You can catch everything on my pitsandpush.com, Pits and Push everything, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook. Also, we have our own sports show on Comcast, Channel 77, Verizon, Channel 11, every Tuesday and Thursday at 5:30.
Pits and Push. Go ahead, Dane. Make sure you check them out.
I don't have any podcasts. Y'all guys are the stars of this one. So you just find me on Twitter. Just chalking up to Steeler Talk. That's all. Nothing major.
All right. Thank you, Dana. I appreciate you. And thank you, everybody that joined us in the chat. Tony, Allen, Steelers Freak, Alex Kazora. We love Alex. Jeremy, he couldn't make it today. Shout out to Jeremy. He always comes on and shows love. Ken, thank you, Ken. And Dave, he was on last week as well, but he couldn't make it today. So I just want to thank y'all. Thank you, everybody that listened. Jen came in and listened. We appreciate it. I love doing the lives. It lets us be interactive. It lets us have free conversations. I get to get my little spiel out, and we get to have a good time. And I get to get other people's opinion because I know I can be very opinionated, and I'm a little different when it comes to my. I don't even like calling myself a fan. I call my loyalty is a little different than most regular Steeler fans. So, and we got beef, Steeler Nation. They dragged me online, honey, when I posted that video about them being rude, and that's okay because I
didn't like that one bit.
Absolutely fine, and I'm gonna continue to do it. I'm continue to hold them accountable. Get up on third down and shut up when somebody is on the ground injured. That's all.
I love when you call people out. I love that. I love that. You need
I'm gonna stay consistent. And the thing that fires me up is like, oh, you must have never been to such and such game, or you never been to such and such stadium. Worry about yourself. Yeah. Like, I don't need to worry about. No, I'm here, and y'all are acting a fool right here. Why I want to worry about somebody else acting a fool? Act accordingly here. Worry about your own house anyway. So get on my nerves. Like, I just have this love and hate with Steeler fans. Like, I love y'all, but I can't stand you because I be in the stands screaming and yelling, telling people like, get up, like make some noise on third down. And people
they don't want to.
They don't want to get up for whatever reason. They may cheer a little bit or whatever, and then got a nerve to cheer on fourth down when your offense is out there. I'm like, shut up. It's like, what are you doing? Shut
up. To be honest, I think they don't want to get up because their hope is they don't have any confidence in the offense. They feel like if they get up, they're just going to be disappointed again. So I get a lot of that. As well.
I don't get it. Like when
that's Mike Tomlin fault too.
It would never ever happen in freaking Arrowhead.
Ain't trying to get up from my man, yo.
Arrowhead.
I'm sorry. You know, I love Tomlin. But something got. And listen, I tell you what. Let me say this. Last question. Do you think they need to get a new offense coordinator for next year?
Yes.
Yeah, that's happening.
And it has to be somebody outside the Steelers organization.
If
new
Tomlin keeps the same
offensive
ones
scheme.
next year, how are you gonna feel about that?
I'm gonna be disappointed, but they're gonna have to come up with a whole offensive scheme.
Yeah, whole new.
And that decision may not lie on Tomlin. So I know we say.
I mean, he did say he made the decision, but I guess we don't even believe that it too, right?
Yeah. I'm not 100% convinced it was his.
My guy's serious with this, Joe. He gonna have a t-shirt that say
Tomlin did
it. I don't know.
Oh man, okay, all right. I will let you guys go.
They need to go outside. They need to go outside of the organization and get somebody that's bona fide that can call plays. That's what they need to do.
How would you feel if they were able to get Eric Bieniemy from Washington? I don't know what kind of deal he's done.
We ain't getting him, but I would love to.
I don't think you would get him, but I think that's kind of cool. That would be dope.
He going to get the Commander's head spot.
Yeah.
He might.
He going to get the Commander's head spot.
We
That
had the
was
opportunity
that
to
would
get
be
him,
so
but
dope.
yeah, that would be.
All right, y'all. Thank you so much again. I'll give you my game day prediction on game day. So we'll see if Alex is going to be out there, and that could change some things for me. We know Mitch is going to be the starting QB, and we'll talk because we have a division game the following Saturday at home, our last home game, and I'm actually extreme. Not to look ahead, but I'm extremely nervous about that game. Jake
Gonna be a tough.
Browning is looking really good. Okay. Anyway. All right, y'all. Have a wonderful night. I will talk to you later. Bye, y'all. Thanks for coming through, y'all.